Even today, we heard about Biden's dog biting someone. Can you imagine if President Trump had a dog at the White House and it bit someone? The press would go crazy. They'd say this dog is working with Russia and we got to have an investigation. So I think the American people deserve to know who's making the decisions. They're also
Herschel Walker for Senate from Georgia. How do you like that? How does that? I like the ring of that. What do you think?
I think it's a touchdown.
The American experiment is the way to go. And if we have two American women, Meghan Markle and Oprah Winfrey, who are single-handedly finishing what George Washington and our revolutionary counterparts did, I'm all for it.
Okay.
I have some more breaking news as well, Carl. It's come in just the last few moments. ITV News here in the UK is reporting that the TV host, the very well-known TV host, Piers Morgan, is leaving as the host of Good Morning Britain, and that follows his constant attacks on Meghan Markle and Prince Harry over the last few days. It almost came to a head this morning, or perhaps that is when it did come to the head this morning, when he essentially stormed out of the studio during a discussion on Harry and Meghan. So we'll probably have more on that throughout the morning, Carl.
Questions. We've heard a lot about dogs. We were promised a White House cat. What happened to that?
Where is the cat? Today's a good day for the cat. I don't have any update on the cat. We know the cat will break the internet, but I don't have any update on its status.
Okay.
It was exactly 1 year ago today that Dr. Sanjay Gupta told us right here on New Day that the U.S. was entering a new and very dangerous phase. CNN is now calling the outbreak a global pandemic. Our senior medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, joins us to explain why. What makes it a pandemic, Sanjay?
Well, I mean, there are criteria that are somewhat defined to call something a pandemic. And let me just preface by saying, you know, this terminology that we're going to start using now isn't so much to cause panic, but rather to really cause a focus on preparedness.
Can you believe how close we were sitting to each other?
That was a striking thing. We were right next to each other. I can't imagine being that close to a non-family member.
What were we thinking? On that day, just 22 Americans had died from the virus. A year later, that number is 525,000 Americans.
Yeah, Sean, it's sort of amazing. They don't talk about the hospital ship Mercy that was also sitting in New York Harbor vacant so that Andrew Cuomo could send your grandmother back into a nursing home infected or amongst other infected people that led to the deaths of thousands of people. That's the insanity of the left today. You know, honestly, that is probably the bigger scandal, although it seems like perhaps the Democrats are sweeping them under the rug in lieu now of the accusations against our groper-in-chief as governor of New York. It's sort of amazing because on today, as International Women's Day, I was beginning to think that the left don't actually believe all women. I sort of feel like they were going to give a pass to Democrat congresspeople. The person you mentioned earlier, Andrea Stewart Cousins, last week, she actually said, well, if another accuser comes out, then he should resign. Now, bear in mind, 3 had already done it. So I guess if you're a Democrat governor, you get that.
So I called right from the beginning. There's no hesitation. One of the great memories of all time. There was no hesitation. So what happens is, I said, we've just launched 59 missiles heading to Iraq.
Well, you headed to Syria?
Yes, heading toward Syria. I'm fortunate to have a very good memory. It's a very important thing to him and to what he does, and maybe I'll ask Rudy to say a few words. Well, thanks, Rudy. I have a very good memory. People know me for my memory. And I went to Puerto Rico and I met with the president of the Virgin Islands.
Donald thinks that climate change is a hoax perpetrated by the Chinese. I think it's real.
I did not.
Science is real.
I do not say that.
And I think it's
I do not say
important that.
I never said repeal and replace Obamacare. You've all heard my speeches. I never said repeal it and replace it within 64 days. We will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare, and we will do it very, very quickly. I mean, I have a good memory, like a great memory.
He called me late today to once again defend his claims, telling me that although he doesn't remember where exactly he saw that video, he does know he saw it because he has, quote, the world's greatest memory.